Good is good. It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over each and every one of these new season rewind players in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Talking about if any of these cards are worth you guys picking up. Obviously, there is that equal chance pack. All of those things to look at as well. Now, just kind of briefly looking at these cards, I do think there are going to be some solid budget options, such as a guy like Terance Mann. I think a guy like Cam Reddish could be good for his sapphire tier. And then even when you look at the top cards, I've seen some things about Dejounte Murray being good, and even a guy like Rudy Gobert. I've heard some things on Twitter, but I think he could have potential if 2K made them right. Now, I'm also going to be ranking these cards from best to worst in a separate video. This is going to be just a brief breakdown. Man, this guy from the Golden State Warriors, I do know how to pronounce his name, but I can't even think about it right now. Podziemski, I think, is how it's pronounced. Like, I never knew his last name looked like that. Doesn't look like Podziemski, but that is what it is. 85 3 ball, 85 speed, 82 lateral quickness. Does get good playmaking badges, shooting badges. My whole question for this card would be, what is his release like? The Bennedict Podziemski base on normal timing. Obviously, pro leaner is fine. Zach LaVine dribble style is interesting as well. I don't think this card's going to be a must-have. I don't think he's going to be great, but look, he's Brandon Podziemski, probably going to be decent at a minimum. Next up, guys, we do see Keyonte George, 6'4", 6'5", wingspan, 83 ball, 88 driving, or 88 speed, I should say. Driving dunk is only a 65. Good playmaking. The one thing that I'm seeing with Mr. Keyonte George is that he's got a decent height. You know, 6'4" is obviously not bad. Keyonte George base on normal timing is fine as well. Game dribble style, obviously, I personally don't mind for a point guard. Not, in my opinion, the best point guard in the game, but look, he's fine for an emerald at minimum. I don't think these emeralds are super bad. And again, they aren't super expensive. You know, 4,200 MT obviously is not bad at all. Terance Mann up next, 6'5", 6'7" wingspan, does have hot spots from both corners. 83 ball, 83 speed, does have decent defense as well. Now, when I'm looking at Terance Mann, the one thing I know is his release is going to be outstanding. Terance Mann based on quick. And for me, when I'm looking at Terance Mann, that is going to be the one thing about this card, that no matter what his stats look like, the Terance Mann base is going to carry him. 83 ball is fine. Obviously, hot spots from both corners. And defensively, he's pretty solid as well. 6'5", not great, but I do think as far as a 3-and-D guy for budget options at 4,200 MT, he is going to be tough to beat. Next up, guys, we got Jaquez Jr, 6'6", 6'9" wingspan. The first thing I'm impressed with Jaquez Jr is his hot spots from everywhere on the court. Decent 3-ball, decent speed, obviously decent defensively. Comes with the gold range, decent rebounding, decent ball handle. This card is a little bit of everything, right? He can do a little bit of everything on the court. I don't know what his release like. Obviously, basic dribble style is not great. Normal leaner, we'll see. But his hot spots, to me, are pretty impressive. And if nothing else, I do know he is going to green shots at a really high level. Don't know what his release is like at the time I obviously am recording this video. Next up, guys, we do see Peyton Pritchard, 6'1", 6'4" wingspan. Hot spots from both corners. 88 3-ball, 83 speed. Defensively, not great. And that's the big thing for me and Peyton Pritchard. He's only 6'1". Defensive stats aren't great. Going to be really tough to play this card. Next up, guys, we do see Craig Porter. And for me, I watched Craig Porter play, and this card can hoop, man, or this guy can hoop in real life. I don't know if this card is going to be what we want him to be, just because defensively, I think he's going to struggle quite a bit. Decent playmaking badges, decent finishing badges. I just don't think that's going to be enough to play Craig Porter in my team. Now, if you guys have ever seen Isaiah Joe play, you know what the card is going to get into. 95 3-ball, has basically every shooting badge in the game. Now, I don't know what his release is like. Don't know what that dribble style is like. If you want to know a lot of these players, go into the 2K. You will be able to see animation-wise what they are like. But hot spots from everywhere. 95 3-ball, normal leaner. I know he's going to be able to at least give you guys something on the court. Next up, Grayson Allen, 6'4", 6'7" wingspan. Hot spots spots from 3 to 5 places around the arc. Does come with that 89 3-ball, 84 speed, decent defensively, decent shooting badges. Playmaker wise is fine, and even defensively can hold it down. Defensive rebounding, honestly not that bad. Now I've used Grayson Allen a little bit in play now, and I look, the Pro 2 leaner is nice, but outside of that, doesn't do a whole ton for you guys on the court. I'm not super high on Grayson Allen. Think there are plenty of other cards to look at today that are going to be a little bit better. One of them being Cam Reddish, 6'7", 7-foot wingspan, hot spots from both corners. And Cam Reddish's release, is it the best in the game? No. Is it solid enough to use and have success with it? Absolutely. 97 steal rating, great defensively, and just from top to bottom can do a lot on the court for you. With Cam Reddish, it all starts and ends on the defensive end of the court. Talk about 3-and-D players in my team. Cam Reddish is at the top of my list as far as budget cards are concerned. Dennis Schroder up next, 6'1", 6'8" wingspan. I'm not gonna lie, they could give this card a 93 ball, and I would still not like Dennis Schroder. I mean, they just could. I'm being completely honest with you. I don't think it is possible to make a good Dennis Schroder card in my team. Look, he's going to be able to play make. We know that. Going to obviously be quick. We know that. And even defensively has some things going on. I wish he had more total badges, especially on the defensive end of the court, because offensively, it's impossible to make a good Dennis Schroder card. Next up, guys, we do see Marcus Sasser. For Marcus Sasser, guys, he's another small guard, and I feel like we've seen that a lot. 6'2", 6'7" wingspan. I don't know how 2K could make this card good. LeBron dribble style, definitely not the way to do it. I feel like all these sapphires have left a lot to be desired outside of Cam Reddish. So hopefully, if you guys grind for that equal chance pack, you will not get a guy like Isaiah Joe or Dennis Schroder or Marcus Sasser even. He is not very good. Next up, guys, Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin has potential. Starting with that 83 ball, 85 speed, decent standing dunk, driving dunk, obviously rebounding wise is fine. Not going to handle the ball that well, but as far as just a stretch big that can play decent enough defense, I think Obi Toppin can do that. I'm not saying he's like the best power forward in the game, but if let's say you pick up 2K today, can he hold it down at that power forward position? I think budget wise, absolutely. Not my favorite card, not my favorite sapphire, but he can hold it down. Zach Collins, I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Zach Collins, not the most flashy name, but I do think he is a card that can play at a decent level, can rebound the ball, can compete on the interior, can shoot the ball. I mean, there's just a lot of things Zach Collins does on the court. I don't know what this release is like, and so that's something to kind of keep an eye on. But badge-wise, stat-wise, Zach Collins is just fine in my team. Jordan Hawkins up next, 6'5" at the point guard position, 6'6" wingspan, 92 3-ball. Now, look, I know he has point guard eligibility, but I'm looking at this card and I don't know how much point guard he can really play for you. MJ dribble style is fine. Normal leaner, Hawkins base. I think he has potential, but I wish his playmaking was just that little bit better. Jordan Hawkins as a Ruby, fine, not great. Grant Williams, look, I don't love Grant Williams' release. I didn't last year, don't this year. 42,000 MT, too much for this card. Defensively, he's going to be fine, but he can't play small forward. So sure, 91 3-ball, great defense. That's all fine. Even badge-wise, he's incredible, but he's too undersized to play at the power forward position in my team. If you get him out of an equal chance pack, he's fine, just not great. It's crazy, right? We go from Grant Williams, a 6'6" card that can't play small forward, to Santi Aldama, who is 7 feet tall, can play small forward, hot spots from everywhere, 86 3-ball, decent speed, decent defensively. I don't want to hype him up defensively, but remember, he is 7 feet tall. Release-wise, I can't say I've used it. Santi Aldama base on a slow, so probably not great, but he is 7 feet tall at that small forward position. I'd be eager to see, at least in shoot around, what this base is like. Is it usable, unusable? That's kind of what I want to know for Santi Aldama. Cole Anthony up next, 6'2", 6'5", wingspan, 89 speed, 84 3-ball. I mean, has some things going for him, even defensively. You know, the 86 lateral quickness is fine. He's just undersized, and I don't think his release is good enough. Now, it is on quick, so again, going to shoot around with the Orlando Magic, see if you like that release. Normally in her Dame dribble style, I think he has potential. 6'2", definitely is gonna hold the card back though. Malik Beasley up next. I'm not a super big Malik Beasley fan. 93 3-ball, 84 speed. But the problem with his card is his defense. Release-wise, only on normal. It's not the worst, but not the best. I mean, it's fine. Pro leaner, pro dribble style. Malik Beasley, not a card I recommend you guys picking up in my team. Alex Caruso up next, 6'5", 6'5", wingspan. 28 base badges, 85 three ball, 87 speed, great defensively, even a good rebounder. This card is a card I recommend you guys picking up. Now, for 42,000 MT, probably not. I think that's a little bit too pricey, but let's say you happen to pull this card, you get blessed, this card can play. One of the best overall defensive players in the entire game, on the perimeter, on the interior, it does not matter. And honestly, guys, he's got a decent three ball as well. So I think as far as complete cards are concerned, Alex Caruso is there. Alex Caruso based on quick, normal leaner, MJ dribble style. This card is my favorite Ruby that we have talked about today in Alex Caruso. Who'd ever thought? I mean, unless you play now, you're not going to think highly of Alex Caruso. D'Anthony Melton up next, 6'3", 6'8", wingspan, 87 three ball, 89 speed, really solid defensively. You want a complete point guard at the Ruby tier, D'Anthony Melton can do that, man. I mean, his dribble style, let's look at a Zach LaVine, not great release-wise, not great, but does have the normal leader, can play some defense. The only problem is he's only 6'3". So I think we made it through all the Rubies. Now to the few Ammies that we do have. Fred VanVleet up first, 6 feet tall. That's the problem with Freddie. I mean, I don't hate this card, but he's only 6 feet tall. Dimer floor general is fine. Can't dunk, small, not a great release. I mean, dribble style, the AI is fine. I just think there's a limit to how good and overpowered Fred VanVleet can be. Reggie Jackson up next. The fact that we got an Amethyst Reggie Jackson before even a guy like Tyrese Halliburton is crazy. 87 three ball, 90 speed. Defensively for Reggie Jackson is even solid. Only 6'2". I feel like his release always in 2K is not great. Not super fond of Reggie Jackson. PJ Washington up next, 6'7", 7'3" wingspan. Hotspots from everywhere around the key. Does have 33 base badges on current gen. I do believe on next gen you're looking at 37. Hall of Fame catch and shoot. Those are the two very important badges for PJ Washington. I do wish he could play that small forward position. He's going to be that stretch big in my team. I just wish he was a little bit taller to be able to hold it down at that power forward position. Cam Thomas, I don't expect much, man. You're only 6'3" at the shooting guard position. Hall of Fame Agent 3 is nice. Hall of Fame Hyperdrive is cool, but he can't play. I mean, he's just too small. I don't think he's going to be good offensively enough to play for you guys. So out of this free AME pack, or if you do get the AME equal chance pack, I think PJ Washington is your best bet. Next to the diamonds that aren't the lock-ins, Jerami Grant up first, 6'7", 7'2" wingspan, hotspots from 3 to 5 places, run the arc, 88 three ball, 87 speed, really solid defensively. You want to look at one of the most complete small forwards in the entire game. Jerami Grant is up there. Now again, he's not going to make a ton of plays. He's just going to be that kind of spot up guy, shoots the ball well and plays good defense. I'd go as far as to saying with Jerami Grant, like even the Hall of Fame catch, shoot, corner specialist, slippery off ball, I wish those were defensive badges, you know, bring on the Hall of Fame interceptor, stuff like that. Jerami Grant's fine. He's not next level good or anything though in my team. Next up, guys, De'Aaron Fox, 6'3", 6'6" wingspan, hotspots from everywhere above the break, 87 three ball, 98 speed, 93 lateral quickness. I never thought that De'Aaron Fox would be fantastic defensively, and I'm not saying he is, but he's 6'3" and really quick. I don't think he's the worst defensive player at that point guard position. And you know, again, that speed acceleration, that's fine. De'Aaron Fox based on quick, almost too quick, I feel like, AI dribble style. I think he's going to be fine. I'd rather get a guy like Jerami Grant, though. That's my opinion. Jalen Brunson up next. Now, look, I've used Jalen Brunson a little bit last year, and I like his release, plus the Hall of Fame range. Those things are nice. Jalen Brunson based on quick is nice. I don't mind the Dame dribble style, normal leaner. Like, offensively speaking, going to be one of your best point guards in the game. The problem is, on the defensive end of the court, I don't think he's going to be good enough, and that is where it lies. For 184,000 MT, absolutely not for Mr. Jalen Brunson. Dejounte Murray, there's been some talk. Is he the best point guard in the game? Well, let's break it down. 6'5", 6'10", wingspan, hotspots from 3 to 5 places around the arc, 85 three ball, 85 driving dunk, 92 speed ball, 90 ball handle, 90 speed lateral quickness, good interior perimeter. Playing wise, fine. Defensively, he's fine. Actually, really good defensively. Is this enough to crown him as the best point guard in the game? I personally don't think so. Look, he's fine, right? I don't hate the card. Dame dribble style's fine. Normal leaner's fine. I don't see how he's better than a guy like let's just say SGA. I think he's on that same type of level, but I don't think he can be that next level good. And I think that's where I hesitate being any higher than Dejounte Murray is maybe like the 5th overall best point guard in the game. Obviously, now we got our lock-ins. Rudy Gobert, the Western Conference lock-in, 7'1", 7'8" wingspan, 81 speed, good interior, good block, good standing dunk. I mean, look, here's the problem with Rudy Gobert. Let's talk about the good. Let's talk about the bad. The good 7'1", 7'8" wingspan, 81 speed, and 97 interior, 97 block. The bad, offensively, he gives you absolutely nothing. Like Rise Up, Master, Area Wizard, I guess, are cool, but he gives you absolutely nothing when it comes down to the rest of the things, right? No post moves, no post game, doesn't even have post spin technician. That hurts for a guy like Rudy Gobert who needs more badges. I guess he has big driver. Defensively, though, he's an absolute menace. Is he on the same level of a guy like Shaq as a guy like Will? I think so, because he's taller, longer than those type of guys. But even then, I mean, he is not worth the lock-in. When you look at Kyle Kuzma, I don't think his release is as good as it has been in the past. So I'm going to already say it. Kyle Kuzma with the basic dribble style is not worth the lock-in. Now, is he fine? Sure. I mean, as far as a 3-and-D guy in my team, even as Hall of Fame big drivers, physical handles, he's fine. Neither of those lock-ins are worth it in my opinion. So I mean, look, I already said it, I'm gonna make a video talking about these cards at their specific tiers, ranking them, but I mean, just some guys to highlight here. Ami wise, I don't like anyone. Diamond, Dejounte Murray. Rubies, I would highlight Alex Caruso. Sapphires, give me Cam Reddish, and at the Emeralds, Terance Mann. If I was to choose one card at every tier, obviously both these lock-ins absolutely stink. That's gonna wrap it up for our video today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Go bless that.